Hi, brothers and sisters. How are you doing? I'm Michelle, and I'm reading from Jim Stevens' book, 101 Proofs for the Absolute Existence of God. Yes, 101. So, yeah. This book is just so beautiful. I was able to see Jim a few weeks ago back in Tennessee. He lives in the beautiful Smoky Mountains, such a beautiful area, which really fits with his heart and his personality, which is just very honest and sincere, truthful. Um, so this book is a combination of hard facts, science, but I believe that when he was writing this book and then he was also receiving inspiration from above. All right, so we're going to be reading the proof number 50. Right. So Jim is going to be telling us all about how scientists are wrong a lot of the time. Right. Okay, here we go. If you think back over the history of science, you will recognize that many times the scientists have been wrong. One might even be able to make the case that they are usually wrong. Oops. Do they think they are wrong at the time? No. They think they are right with almost absolute certainty, just like that today. The scientists who thought the Earth was the center of the universe not only believed they were right, they violently opposed Galileo when he said the Earth revolved around the sun. Why did they do that? To have some fun and surprises. You might check out some of the websites about major mistakes that scientists have made in the past. 20 of the greatest blunders in science in the last 20 years. That's one. Top 10 disproven theories. That's another book. Another one is why most published research findings are false. Oh my goodness. And then there's a last one here. Most scientific theories are wrong. Ooh, this is awful. For some more fun, check out these websites for some of the more famous quotes by science and world leaders who were wrong on many different topics. Um, One of the websites is called It'll Never Work. Another one is Incorrect Predictions. And another one is Predictions Dash Quotes. Try naming any scientific breakthrough that was not strongly opposed. In fact, I would make the case that the strongest opposition usually comes shortly before the new idea gains wide acceptance, because that is when the opponents fight the hardest to stop it. Check out the history of the locomotive, electricity, automobiles, airplanes, television, radio, and computers, to name a few. Do you think that scientists all jumped on board with Einstein and instantly accepted the theory of relativity? Maybe there was no heated debate and angry words. Again, wrong. That's not how it works. Einstein himself admitted that he made a big mistake after refusing for years to accept that the universe is expanding. He even went so far as to fudge his own formula to avoid the new truth and account for data outside his pet theory. In the end, he called that his greatest mistake. Here is a reference to a book about Einstein's 23 biggest mistakes. Have you heard that the sum total of knowledge in the world is doubling every 12 months and on its way to every 12 hours? Incredible. Obviously, we don't know it all, do we? Ask any honest scientist, and he or she will admit that there are a lot of things they don't know in their chosen field, maybe even more than they think they already know. We tend to think that we know it all today, the full and complete truth. Only those people in the past were ignorant, we say, but not us, not even close. We tend to think that truth is always accumulating in a straight line and always going upward. New truth gets added on top of old truth, and they always agree with each other. Nope. New truth will often turn out to be significantly opposed to the old truth. New truth will contradict the old truth because the two are incompatible. One of the most influential philosophers in science of the 20th century is probably someone you never heard of. His name is Thomas S. Kuhn. And in 1962, he wrote a book called The Structure of Scientific Revolutions. He is the one who popularized the term paradigm shift. According to Kuhn, the development of a science is not uniform, but has alternating normal and revolutionary or extraordinary phases. The revolutionary phases are not merely periods of accelerated progress, but differ qualitatively from normal science. Anomalies are ignored or explained away, if at all possible. It is only the accumulation of particularly troublesome anomalies that poses a serious problem for the existing disciplinary matrix. A particularly troublesome anomaly is one that undermines the practice of normal science. He explained historically how science only progresses in a straight line for periods of time, and then a revolution takes place when there is growing uneasiness with the truth because it doesn't explain the new data. This is exactly what is happening to the theory of evolution. The theory is not able to explain the data very well anymore. Like all other scientific theories, Darwinian evolution must be continually compared with the evidence. If it does not fit the evidence, it must be re-evaluated or abandoned. Otherwise, it is not science, but myth. If the icons of evolution are supposed to be our best evidence for Darwin's theory, and all of them are false or misleading, what does that tell us about the theory? Is it science or myth? 99.9% of all known fossils have been discovered since the time of Darwin, but his missing links have never been found. And Jim says, see chapter 18. See proof number 18. The same goes for the two forces of mutation. And he says, see chapter 27. and natural selection. Lastly, see chapter 35. So Jim goes very deeply into these ideas. They are failures at experimentally producing any new species. Now, we see the theory of intelligent design emerging in opposition. We also see it being almost violently opposed. Adherents of evolution want intelligent design people to shut up and are trying to get their jobs taken away. Can you imagine? They vilify esteemed atheists who change their minds. Wow. See chapter 17. I predict intelligent design will win the battle because it better explains the data that is known to us. If you look on the horizon, you can see other revolutions in thinking and truth that are coming out. For example, look at the books being written by very distinguished and credible people who have lived through and returned from a near-death experience. And Jim talks about that in proof number 10, chapter 10. Many others are now coming forward to testify to their own experiences of life after death. It is showing up more and more on television and in movies. Eventually, it will be undeniable. Another example is in the fields of psychology and medicine. Research is making amazing advances in alternative methods of healing that are more successful. Most people are unaware of what is happening below the surface and out of the public media. Individuals like Mahindra Trivedi are popping up around the world. Mahindra Trivedi. I'm curious to see what she has to say. Over 4,000 scientific experiments have verified his energy healing abilities. Excuse me, it's a him. Once it is established that there is life after death, a huge paradigm shift will take place in the world and how people live their lives. Perhaps it will be gradual, but the world will change tremendously as people adjust to the idea that they will live forever, and the way they act in this life will determine what happens to them in the next. These developments and discoveries are not random. There is an invisible, intelligent force at work behind the scenes, working with the people who are making these discoveries. That being is the origin of this knowledge and is helping it be revealed to the world. There is God, and he will eventually be known to all of us, even a reluctant scientist. Wow, that was great. I really like this one, Jim. Well, okay. I thank you so much for listening. Yeah, very awesome. Okay, have a good day, everybody. I'll see you another time. Bye.